Let's talk about offices. We're in a nice building, and one part of the conversation in real estate is going back to the office.
Yes.
We are really going back to the office.
We're here now. By the way, we're in CBRE's beautiful offices, I should say, if you see it in the background. I was in this office 10 years ago when we first redid it. And then we just redid it again, and it's even more beautiful. But beauty is just one reason people come to the office. As we were talking prior to this, there are two types of real estate. There's real estate that you need to be in, and there's real estate that you want to be in. You really only need to be in housing and industrial. You need a place to live, and you need a place to store your stuff. Do you need to be in the office? Do you need to be in retail? Do you need to be in a hotel? No, but you want to be there. You want to be there if it makes you better, happier, more productive. It does all those things for me. This office does those things for me, and it's not just the beauty of the office. You know what the number one amenity in an office is?
No.
Other people. If other people are there, you have the opportunity to be better, not only at your job, but at some of the skills that will help you be better over the long term. Communication skills, networking skills. And so making the office a living, breathing thing where you want to be is the key. And it's the key to retail and a lot of other retail forms of real estate as well.
How does the market change after COVID in offices? What is the most important lesson to the tenants and to the people who
I'm going to quote a friend of mine, the new CEO of our Buildings, Operation, and Excellence Division, a fellow by the name of Jamie Hadari, used to be CEO of Industrious, which was our co-working space. And he said, and I think this answers your question perfectly, one of the implications of COVID is all real estate today is an operating business. It's all operational. I have to run this space similarly to how I would run a retail store, similarly to how I would run a concert venue. How do I make this space great every day? It used to be the case is, well, you got to go to the office, this is it, kind of a static environment. This is now living, breathing, because we need to make the office a place where you want to be. Because you, as proven by COVID, you don't need to be there. Wanting is making all real estate, office, industrial, multifamily, data centers alive, making them operational. That is the fundamental change of COVID.
What is the most significant mistake that doesn't make office attractive to people?
I think this most significant mistake, and I say this with love to my real estate people on the phone, you can't build your way to success. You can't build an amenity, a physical amenity, a gym. I joke around, a pickleball court. That's going to get people here. You have to shift your mindset from capital expenditure is going to be the thing that's going to get people back to operational expenditure. Having live entertainment, having a great food offering, having other things that make people want to be here. The office shouldn't be a duplicate of your house. It should be different. It should be better, but not the same. And by making it a carbon copy of your house, you're kind of making it the same. Why would I leave my house if I'm going to another version of my house? I want this to make me better, smarter, happier, more productive. That's an operational mindset rather than a capital mindset.
Do you think there's a difference, a cultural difference, for example, Latin America and United States, that we need to keep the gap or close the gap?
What a great question. I could talk about this question forever because it's my favorite topic. Because I'm fortunate in my job. I travel the world. I just got back from Europe and the Middle East literally like 3 days ago. And what you notice are two things. First of all, outside of the United States, more people are back in the office on a percentage basis than they are elsewhere. I think that's a cultural thing. It's hard to put a finger on exactly why, but that is a fact. And part of it has to do with the density of these different locations we go to. So you go to an extremely high density place like a Singapore or a London or Madrid, people are already in live, work, play environments, people are coming back more. So part of it is just physical density, part of it's cultural. But to your question, this is why I love this question. I had this very debate with Jamie Hadari on my podcast the other day, which is very often we're trying to make all the offices look the same, generic, be more same-like. I'm like, no can do. You want some sameness, the beautiful high-tech screens we have here, the beautiful open area we have here. I want this to look like my other offices where I'm at. But I do not want to lose the local flavor of Mexico, of Spain, of Germany, of London, of Tokyo, wherever it is. I want to feel like I'm in Tokyo. I want to feel like I'm in Mexico City, because there is something about Mexico City that makes you happier, better, more productive, going right back to those words. Why would I come here if the office here looks just like my office in Tokyo, just like my office in New York? I'd come here for the people, okay? There are reasons I'd come here. But I think that we're missing an opportunity if we don't try to blend some of the great common elements of similarity with some of the great local elements.
In one word, what is the first word that comes to your mind when you think about Mexico?
Can I say two words?
Yeah?
Untapped opportunity.
Untapped opportunity.
Because I mentioned already the opportunity with respect to multifamily, just beginning to scratch the surface on that. Cross-border capital. Not a lot of Mexican capital comes out of Mexico and goes elsewhere. I think we need to have a more vibrant capital environment where capital flows both ways. I think there's untapped opportunity with infrastructure. Look, I love Mexico City, but it's not easy to get around. You need to have better, if you created better infrastructure, better roadways to and from the airport, better trains to and from the United States. What an opportunity. So I think that Mexico has had a terrific run over the last 20 years, largely due to nearshoring. But I think it is only just the beginning.
The beginning. Help us to take a look to Mexico 2035. How will it look like?
Well, what I hope it will look like will be an area that will have even more robust cross-border trade with the United States, that your infrastructure improves, that you have more apartment buildings, that you have a place that world capital wants to go to, in addition to going to the United States, not as an either or, but as a both story, because I think there's a relationship between the advantages of the US and the advantages of Mexico, where it's not one or the other. They have to work together. Best example may be the auto industry. Do you know how many times a car has to go across the border before it makes its way to your driveway?
10 and 20.
Yeah, it's in 10 or 20 times that vehicle is crossing the border because of the competitive advantages of Mexico, the competitive advantages of the United States. Maybe it goes up to Canada too. My point is this: if we can maximize these competitive advantages, and we will supercharge that with better infrastructure, better capital flows, and a somewhat more favorable regulatory environment, 2035, when I say we were scratching the surface today, we won't be quite scratching it then. We'll be well on our way.
Let's talk about commercial. Mm-hmm. We have talked about industrial, residential, offices. How do you see commercial spaces?
Now, when you say commercial spaces, you mean office building space, or you mean industrial space, or you mean manufacturing?
No, I mean, for example, malls.
Retail. What I would call retail. I love retail. And one of my clients who I had on my show last year was a big buyer of Mexican retail. And Mexican retail is a very local business. Some businesses, like industrial, not particularly local, manufacturing, not particularly local. But retail, you need to know the rooftops right near where you are and the preferences of those buyers. And you can get some great rooftops here in terms of your demographics in and around retail locations, as you can any place else. So I think Mexican retail is a tremendous opportunity as well, in large part because there's not a lot of foreign money.
Something that in a way is an obsession to real estate people is interest rates.
Yes.
We are supposed to go in a easing cycle, but we're not sure when it's going to we're going to get there.
Well, Mexico and the United States are both in easing cycles right now, but Mexico is at a much different level. The short-term interest rates here are, what, 9%, 8-9%, higher than that. United States, our short-term rates are 4.5%. Your long end of the curve is closer to 10%. Ours is closer to 4.5%. And the reason for that is, once again, inflation. Mexican inflation is running at about 3.7% today. The U.S. is running at about 2.7% today. Because we have lower inflation, we have lower interest rates. And the high inflationary environment in Mexico impacts the peso. Part of the reason why the peso is trading at 20 or 21 per dollar is because of the inflationary risks here. So getting the economy under control more from an inflationary standpoint will help your interest rates come down faster, will help strengthen the peso as well. The bottom line is this, is that putting aside the macroeconomic math I just gave you, both Mexico and the United States are likely to be in high interest rate environments for many more years. And because of that, you need to adapt your business to be more operationally focused than capital markets focused.
I would like to finish the conversation asking you for advice to the real estate people in Mexico. Mm-hmm. What is the most important thing that Mexico needs to learn from the outside world in real estate operation?
Sure. And I would say to you this, that the opportunities in Mexico are tremendous, but they're concentrated. I would say that the vast majority of folks are focused on industrial and they're focused on manufacturing. And that's a good thing because those are two terrific areas where Mexico has a great competitive advantage. But what I would suggest is two things. Number one, I would look to other asset types, including those that some of you think I lost it when I was saying go to multifamily or go to retail. There's a lot of places where the capital markets aren't as thick and you'll have better individual opportunities. Look to building today, which is not what a lot of people are doing today because the costs are high, materials and interest rates. But I would also say that look to outside capital too. I think that there's a beauty to outside capital beyond the cultural or the social issues in terms of making you more competitive, learning from that capital what made that capital successful, not just in the United States, but perhaps in Europe. So I would say hit it where they ain't, to use an American expression, in some of the forms of real estate that may be not as favored. Build and diversify your capital base by bringing in international capital, I think will give you an edge.
Spencer Levy, it's been nice talking to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. This was great.
Right. Hemos tenido esta conversación con Spencer Levy, CBRE. Esto es El Economista. Muchas gracias. Siga con nosotros.